Hello, everyone, and welcome to Young at Heart, session number 82. I'm Father James DeLucio, eager to share a rhyme with you, or two, or more, as we begin a series on nonsense verse. And who better to begin a selection of nonsense verse than Lewis Carroll himself, the author of Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. The selections today and subsequent ones, many of them come from those books, so you may recognize them, those of you who have read them. If not, you might recognize some of them from the Disney film Alice in Wonderland from 1951, an animated film that invited a number of composers, including Oliver Wallace and the songwriter Sammy Fain, to write songs. They put a number of these poems into melodies and songs. A little autobiographical aspect of Alice in Wonderland. I had never seen it up until my kindergarten year, but it was always on my list of Disney films to see. I was raised on Mickey Mouse, can't you tell? And so our kindergarten school, it was Hillside School in Closter, New Jersey, this would have been 1960, when the spring of 1960, I believe, yes. And the school was showing Alice in Wonderland after school. It was a special event. You needed to bring a quarter to school in order to watch the movie. And my parents said, no, I could not go because I had an appointment with the ear doctor. I had some clogging in my ears and I had to have them cleaned out. So I was very unhappy, but I also was very determined to see Alice in Wonderland. So you know what I did, this future priest? I snuck into my parents' bedroom and I opened the top bureau drawer where it just so happened, I don't know which, one of my parents kept some change, and I stole a quarter and I pocketed it and went to school and very proudly handed my quarter to my, not nursery school, my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Lapitra. I guess she was married to an Italian fellow, even if she herself wasn't. She had very bright red hair. And so it's after school, the alarm rang at 3 o'clock, and who marches in with the other children into the auditorium to watch Alice in Wonderland? It had only just begun when suddenly, who do I spy at the door to the auditorium but our principal, Mr. Shea, and none other than my mother, ready to take me to the ear doctor. Such dismay, such disappointment, but no one yelled. No one reprimanded me. I don't know why, but I suppose it's because once we got to the ear doctor, he had to put this drill-like thing into my ears, and of course I cried. And I suppose my mother felt, well, that was punishment enough. So, let's go to some verse. The Jabborwocky. It's always been your favorite, right? 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths out grabe. Beware the Jabborwocky, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jubjub and shun the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the maxome for he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, The Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came whiffling through the tulgey wood and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Callooh-Callay! He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the burra-groves, and the mome-raths outgrabe. Gives you the sense that all was well. It began with a peaceful day. It had excitement and chivalry and success, and all returns back to a moment of peace. That's at least my interpretation. You create yours. You find yours too. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle. And for the grand finale, the Mock Turtles song. Have you ever had mock turtle soup? The thought of it makes me gag. Nonsense, you say. It's very tasty. Tasty? No. Indeed not. Will you walk a little faster, said a whiting to a snail. There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance. They are waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance? You can really have no notion how delightful it will be when they take us up and throw us with the lobsters out to sea. But the snail replied, too far, and gave a look askance. Said he thanked the whiting kindly, but he would not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not, would not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not, would not join the dance. What matters it how far we go, the scaly friend replied. There is another shore, you know, upon the other side. The further off from England, the nearer is to France. Then turn not pale, beloved snail, but come and join the dance. Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you join the dance? Please, don't forget to participate in the dance of life, for here we are, and dancing is great for the soul, as singing is as well. So make sure there's always a little dance, a little lilt in your step, no matter how gloomy the news. And it is gloomy, but it's also challenging, and with that great phrase, no pain, no gain, good things can happen from all this. I believe it. So you hold on to that and do a little dance, a dance of equality and dignity for everybody. And meanwhile, stay healthy, keep safe, and God bless. Bye, everyone. Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance?